Hey guys, Pamela MacElree from Urban Athlete in Mt Airy, Philadelphia. We are going to start a food video, recipe video for you guys once a week. And I guess that means you get to see my kitchen. So, here it is. That's all you get to see though, it's just my kitchen. Anyway, today we're going to do a stuffed tomato baked with veggie protein, some kale, zucchini, and some basil. So you don't want to cook the vegetables, the kale and the zucchini, too long because they're going to be baking in the oven. So we're just going to brown the veggie meat. If you guys want to use like a lean ground beef or a lean ground turkey, you could probably even dice up some chicken. That would work well also. So just going to turn this on, brown up the meat, and then we'll throw in the vegetables right at the end before we stuff it in the tomato to bake it. Now, I know there's a recipe like this. Jill actually told me about it. I'm just making some substitutions. You could put any kind of vegetable you want in here. So we're going to warm that up real quick. You need to gut the tomatoes. So I've already done one. Get most of the juice out. We'll do this one. Not exactly the easiest thing to do. This will be awesome in August when tomatoes are nice and ripe. These aren't too ripe. And I know it's sacrilegious, but I don't like garlic. You guys might want to put garlic in this. Salt and pepper. Penzi Spice and Chestnut Hill makes some great spices. Alright. And then for the zucchini, I just want to make sure that the pieces are relatively uniform in size. So all the slices are pretty much the same thickness. And then I'm just cutting each one in thirds. So we have little pieces since the tomatoes are smaller. Alright, so that's that. This might be warm enough now. Obviously, if you're going to make this for more than like 2 people, you're going to use a lot more meat and a lot more vegetables, but just to speed up the process. And just so you know what I'm using here, they have regular ones too. Sausage one's a little bit more spicy. So I'm going to brown that up, force it a little bit. I'm going to set the oven to bake at 425. And then we're just going to take a couple pieces of this kale. Kale's really tasty, actually. It's a nice, good, leafy green to get away from your typical spinach. It's also good in a salad if you want to change. I'm just going to these are the smallest pieces as possible. These don't have to be uniform at all. Alright, and then I'm just going to take a couple leaves of the basil. Fresh basil is also better, but I didn't have any, so this is store-bought. I'm just going to make this up real small, and I'm going to throw this in with the meat now so that the flavor kind of infuses it a little bit. Especially since I'm not the garlic fan that most everybody else is. Alright. So just like I said, just want to brown this. But if you're using regular meat, you probably want to make sure it's cooked thoroughly. And you're going to bake it extra, so you don't really have to worry it being 100%. This is the part that takes the longest on video, so bear with me. And then just for while we're waiting, you guys can get some peaches, especially in August when you have white peaches, and just cut them in half and take the core out. And you can put it in the oven right with this, sprinkled with cinnamon, and it's like a little dessert. I know it's not like cheesecake, sorry guys, but it's not. But it tastes pretty good. These actually look like they're white peaches already. The thing about this is you don't have to wait for your fruit to ripe if you're going to bake it. So just cut them in half. Sometimes the pit breaks, so you have to pick that out. Sometimes the dog eats the food that falls on the floor. This is also pretty good grilled, but I'm sticking the inside today. Alright, so from here I'm just going to throw in a bunch of the zucchini and a bunch of the kale. And like I said, you're not really going to cook this thoroughly because it's going to cook in the oven. It's actually more than what we need. A little more vegetable in there. And then your spices. Do a little, whatever flavor you kind of like. This is buttermilk. Like I said, from Penzi Spice. Pretty good variety of different things. Alright, so really that's about all the longer we're going to cook it on the stove. And then just goes in the tomato. And on the baking sheet, some of it's going to fall out, it's fine. Food's not perfect. I put the aluminum foil on there so the pan doesn't get as dirty and it's easier to clean up. Because this pan obviously is harder to clean up. So the bigger the tomato, the better in this instance. And then we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of cheese on top of it. The Romano Parmesan cheese, not a whole lot, just a little for an extra flavor. It'll brown on top. It's a good way to tell that it's done too. Obviously if you're using real meat, you want to make sure that this is cooked all the way through, but with the veggie protein it's pretty easy. You could also use like a black bean or pinto beans. And then I'm just going to throw 2 of these peaches on here on the side with the cinnamon. It's really all you need. We're going to throw this in the oven. We're going to bake it. It's at 425. Not too long, probably only like 20 minutes. And then show you what it looks like. Leo, out. Nope. Alright, so catch you in 20 minutes and we'll see what it looks like.